Ow. Good morning. My hair looks funny today. I can't help but notice it. It's like curled a lot, and so then it can show really how short the shortest layers are, and I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't really matter. Good morning. Welcome to Monday. Aren't you excited for Monday? I'm excited for Monday. Why am I excited for Monday? Because it's Magic Monday. Magic Monday. And coffee. Real coffee. Oh, I made real coffee so I could take some to work, but literally everything that I made is in this mug. So, and it's real strong. Uh-oh. Magic Monday, maybe cut short in order for me to go to the bathroom. Because this coffee is really strong. All right, we're moving on. We're opening this. This fellow, let's make up a name for him. He looks like a Derek. Doesn't he look like a Derek? Spoiler alert, he does have a real name, and he's a real person in the world of Magic, but I don't know what person he is, or what his role is, or what he did. So I'm going to call him Derek. Doesn't he look like a Derek? He looks like one of the Jonas Brothers, honestly. None of their names was Derek, I'm pretty sure. But they had silly names. I don't know. All I can remember is Joe Jonas, because that's very easy to remember. But I don't remember the rest of them. Okay. All right. Let's break this up into creatures versus non-creatures. Interesting. Sorry, I'm previewing. That's not good. Shouldn't do that. We already have this guy. I sort of think we do because I recognize that picture. Sorry, I'm just checking out. Yeah, it was one of the first ones we got. All right. Creatures first. Let's go through this. Bioessence Hydra. I'm showing you the whole stack. I don't need to do that. That's hard to deal with. It's a 4/4 and has trample, so that's nice. And it costs 5, but it costs a blue and a green, so you have to have both. Bioessence Hydra enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on a planeswalker you control. Interesting. So for reference, the planeswalker we opened last week has 5 loyalty to start with. Now, if you've used her or if she's taken damage, it will be less than 5. 5 +1/+1 counters. That's a lot. And that seems pretty average. I think most of I'm looking at like 4 right now, and they all have 5 on them. 5 or more. So that's a lot of counters. Dang. I am excited that this is not a red-green. Because if it were a red-green, Ben would take it. And he would kill me with it. Anyway. On planeswalkers you control. So there would be more than one. If you had more than one planeswalker out, and they had their just given number of loyalty tokens. Dang. Whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are put on planeswalkers you control, put that many +1/+1 counters on Bioessence Hydra. Okay, so this isn't as great for Ben as I thought it was, because this is duplicate of some of his things that he has in there. But this would be great with various. So this is the kind of card that would make some of our weaker planeswalkers more useful. Like Ashiok Dream Renderer. But it does cost 5. It costs 5 for a 4/4, but with those special abilities, definitely worth it. Definitely. And it has trample, definitely worth it. Now, And this thing is going to have huge targets on its back in terms of like people wanting to use destroy target creature, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to have some way to back that up to protect it from those things if you want to keep it out longer than a couple turns. But even if you only had it for a couple turns, you could do some serious damage. So definitely worth the cost of admission here. Grateful Apparition. Pretty sure we've seen this one before. It is a 1/1, costs 2, is white, and is flying. Look at how grateful that apparition is. Super grateful. It doesn't have a mouth, so can't tell you how grateful it is, but just is grateful. Whenever Grateful Apparition deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker, proliferate. Pretty simple. Proliferate again is where you can add as many. You can add 1 token to anything that already has a token. So if you've got, for instance, if you've got Bioessence Hydra has 5 tokens on it, you can add another +1/+1 token. You can add more loyalty tokens to your planeswalkers. You can add more poison tokens if you've put poison tokens on. No, this only works on permanents. Oh, no, and/or players. So, yeah, if you put poison tokens on other players, you can add poison tokens to them. It's rough. It's a rough one for your opponent. So this is good. 1/1 flying. Those are nice. Cost 2. I'd say it's worth it if you've got a proliferate deck. I used to say that so well, and now I'm just scooting on through it. All right. Mayhem Devil. Look at this art. Pretty good art. You can't really see, but it looks very good. It's a 3/3. It costs 3, so that's pretty good. It does cost a black and a red, so you need both. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. So sacrifices a permanent. So if you have, this makes sense for a black deck because a lot of black cards, or many black cards, but maybe not a lot. There are a non-zero number of black cards that say, as an additional cost to this, sacrifice a permanent, or sacrifice a creature, or sacrifice a land, or something like that. So if you had a deck full of those and you had this guy, he's worth it because cost of 3 for a 3/3 is not terrible. He doesn't have any special abilities other than that dealing damage to a target because of a sacrifice, but a 3/3 is still pretty respectable. And if you've got other things to beef him up, it's a pretty easy beef. So he would be good for a red-black deck. Would what's the word? Would recommend. There we go. Arboreal Grazer. This is the one we've definitely seen before because Ben has a couple in his deck. The wretched red-green deck. Oh, he's a cute sloth. I didn't notice that it was a cute sloth. Good and cute sloth. It's got stripes on it. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on it, but the camera's just like, nah. Okay. Camera probably picked a focus spot a long time ago and hasn't changed it. So it is a 0/3 for 1, which is nice in and of itself, but it also has a reach, which is good. Reach, again, is the ability to defend against flying creatures. When it enters the field, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So Ben uses this a lot because he needs a lot of mana, or he uses a lot of mana. So this allows him to get mana out quickly. But he's also, I mean, he's not called a defender, but which is probably better for a defender because defenders cannot attack. But he's good because he's 0/3, and in Ben's red-green deck, he gets a lot of +1/+1 counters on him. A worthy attacker as well, and not somebody you want to attack necessarily because he can attack you back. So, or Boil Grazer, and that's where it costs 1. Like almost anything is worth cost 1. Almost. Spellgorger Weird. I like that they're called weirds. Can't find the other ones. There was one on the top a second ago, but well, probably 2 weeks ago. But there was a blue weird. So this is a 3 cost for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Spellgorger Weird. Pretty straightforward. So anytime you cast, I don't know that a land counts as casting a spell, but anytime you cast anything other than a land or a creature, sorcery, an instant, planeswalker, any of those things, you get to add a +1/+1 counter to this guy. So he's a cost 3 for a 2/2. He doesn't have any other special abilities like trample or flying or anything like that. But if you are casting, if you're able to get him out early so that you can keep him out while you're casting all your creatures, then he's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know that I would use him unless I had a deck that really synergized well with that, like a lot of spells, like instants and sorceries and stuff. A lot of reliance on those things. Duskmantle Operative. This is a 2 cost for a 2/2. Duskmantle Operative cannot be blocked by creatures with power 4 or greater. So this can sort of be a if you're this actually would be good against Ben's red-green deck because frequently he gets creatures up to having 4/4 or power 4 or greater, whether they started that way or not, and then he could not block. And that's one of the problems is when you have an opponent who has a lot of powerful creatures, you don't want to attack because they will kill your things. But if this guy cannot be blocked by that, that's pretty good. It's one of those, I mean, the name Duskmantle Operative, human rogue creature, sort of gives you the sense that it's supposed to like slide in between their defenses. And it would successfully do that. War Crocodile. This guy, I think we had this guy last week. Hexproof. We've talked about this, yes. He's a 5/3 for cost 5. And he's hexproof, which means he cannot be the target of spells or abilities of your opponent's control. Dang, very good. Would recommend. Sky Theater Strix. This is cool art too. Looks like a big owl, like flaming blue or lightning blue talons. So it's flying. It's a 1/2, costs 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Sky Theater Strix gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So this is very similar to the one we were just looking at, the Spellgorger Weird. It costs less. It starts out as less powerful. But honestly, these two would work well together in a deck because you probably want a blue deck. Or you want blue cards because blue relies on a lot of has a lot of instants and sorceries and stuff. I don't know. I could be just talking about that, but I think that's true. So this is, if the other one's worth it, this one definitely is because it's cheaper. Naga Eternal. This is a zombie Naga. It's just 3/2, cost of 3. I was reading the flavor text. I recognize that headdress. This one was feared even by her fellow initiates. So it's a 3/2, cost 3. Nothing else going for it, except that it is a zombie type. So if you have cards that deal with zombie types, that could be useful. 3/2 for cost 3. I don't know. It really depends. No, that's pretty good, actually. 3/2 instead of a 2/3. Well, I mean, 2/3 is not bad either. 3/3 would obviously be better, but 3/2 is not terrible. Yeah, I don't know. Raging Crunch. What a great name for this. What a great name and what great art for this little guy. Yep, Raging Crunch. I wish I could show you this art better. Just Google it. Crunch. Google it carefully. Make sure you get the spelling right. Because who knows? It is a 3 cost for a 4/3. and it cannot attack alone. So that means it needs to have something else on the field with it attacking. Which is why it is a cost 3 instead of higher for a 4/3. But that could work pretty well. You would just need something small that you might be sacrificing to something small if they have something that can kill to something small. But the other thing is you could just use this guy as a blocker, honestly. It's not bad. This is the point in which the coffee kicks in. I will be right back. I'm back. Sorry, internet. Okay. So that actually concludes our creatures. So we're going to move on to our spells. We have Band Together. Ben also has this in his red-green deck. Which costs 3. Up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature. So this is nice. It does not specifically say attack, so you can't block it with typical cards that attack. It is not part of an attack, so it does not tap the creatures that you use, and it just does the power or does the damage to a creature, and it bands 2 of them together, so you can do quite a bit of damage. Oh, that's strong. Quite a bit of damage to a powerful creature that you're up against. So it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a little expensive, but easily worth it, I would say. Forced Landing. I think we've talked about this, but there's a lot of cards like this. It's a cost to put target creature with flying on the bottom of its owner's library. That is not what I thought it was going to say, but that works too. Basically, your opponent has a flying creature out. You don't want them to have that flying creature out. And so then you send them to the bottom of their library. So it's going to take them a while to get it back. Unless, of course, they have to shuffle their library for any reason. And when I said that there are a lot of cards like this, what I was thinking was that this was going to be a card where it destroys target flying creature, or because green has a few of those. There's like Crushing Canopy is the one that I can think of right now, but there's at least one other one that I've come across that is like that, where you can either destroy a permanent or destroy a flying creature. Green doesn't like you to keep. So, last spell, Battlefield Promotion. This is also some interesting art. It's a knight who honestly looks like the Black Knight from Monty Python, handing evidently a promotion helmet to a knight. It's cost 2. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains first strike until end of turn, and you gain 2 life. For a cost 2. That's pretty good. That's actually very good because you get the +1/+1 counter forever. I mean, until it's removed in some way. You get first strike until end of turn. That's useful. I mean, it would be great if it could last forever, but then this would be a more expensive card. And gaining 2 life is never a bad thing. You can always gain 2 life. You can always get more life. That'd be fine. So, all in all, pretty good. Then we have our Planeswalker. I know you've been waiting. And you've just been waiting on pins and needles, bated breath, etc., for the Planeswalker of this thing. But let me tell you, it's a disappointment. It is Tibalt, Rakish Instigator. Instigator? Yeah, Instigator. He's rakish. If you like horns, he's got horns on his head. And boots that are too high up and they are laced all the way up there. That's too much. So he is a cost 3 and he has 5, as noted earlier. And his static spell is your opponents cannot gain life. So that thing that I just had in my hand, the gaining of the life would not happen. And then for a -2, create a 1/1 red devil creature with token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. He's actually not bad. Especially if you had more than 1 Planeswalker, so he wasn't your only option. And if you had Plurif, so that he could continue to stay alive. See, the reason that I'm looking at him right now is because, I've got like 8 minutes left. I'll talk to you a little bit about my strategy, my thoughts. So the reason I'm looking at him is because I'm thinking of making a red-black deck. And possibly a red-black-blue deck, but like that seems like a lot. I don't have any 3 type 3 color decks right now, so that would be asking a bit. But what I'm thinking of for my red-black deck, zombie army specifically. So let me just go through how you would make a deck, and then maybe I can talk next week about how many decks, or about the deck that I have built and why. So, and the reason I'm doing this is because I was reminded today. The opening of this pack that I just opened announces the halfway point. We have only 17 packs left. Only 17. Now, note, you internet, and I have not gone through the other 18 ourselves. Ben and I went through quite a few, just opening them ourselves. But anyway, and I don't really feel the need to ration these, but I do know that Ben and I are probably going to open some more too, so off camera. So trying to think of other ways to use Magic Mondays still. So anyway, he wouldn't be a bad one for this red-black deck that I'm envisioning. 1, because he's red. So that's nice. And the 1/1 red devil creature token is always nice. There's a more specific reason than it's always nice, but we'll move on. This Duskmantle Operative would go in there. And then Bola Citadel. I had talked about how interesting this card is. Let me reread it. It costs 6, 3 of which have to be black. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. So this is a legendary artifact that stays on the battlefield. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell in this way, pay life equal mana cost rather than paying its mana cost. And then if you tap this card, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, each opponent loses 10 life. So this would be good with, who was it? Was it a creature? It was a creature. And it was a red creature. All right. Well, Grim Initiate is a good one. It costs 1 and it's 1/1 with first strike. And then when it dies, you amass 1. So yeah, that's going in there. I thought for sure it was a red creature. Maybe it was not. Well, it wasn't a black creature because I'm creatures right now. Was it a spell? Well, maybe it was a green creature. I don't want it to be a green creature. Don't be a green creature. Oh. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. Was it a white creature? No. Oh, here it is. Nope, not that one. This one? Yes. Haha! Perfect. This is the red-black creature that I was looking at earlier. Sorry, I'm spacing out. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. So potentially, I'd have to look at the rules on this. Potentially, you could double that damage that Bolas's Citadel does. You could do 20 damage to each opponent in 1 turn, or one of your opponents in 1 turn. So this guy's going in there for sure. Let's look back at. We've got the Zombie Hippo, always a popular one. We've got Lazotep Reaver, which when it enters the battlefield, you amass 1. I am not doing any sort of organizational strategy here.